16 years. Never thought we'd make it this far. There were times when I believed we couldn't and shouldn't. As with anything in life, when shit keeps hitting you in the face, you start to wonder, what the fuck am I still doing here? When you can't pay your bills and your electricity gets shut off, or you can't buy food and go to sleep hungry, you know you're in one hell of a shithole, yet you still believe that what you set out to do is right. Even when everything around you is falling apart, you persist. You persist in what you believe in. You persist and continue to do what you feel is right and make a choice to go on. Painful as it has been, E-TracX has given me something to believe in. It has given me hope. It has taught me that with wonderful friendships comes great success. Perhaps not financial success, but more importantly, personal growth and fulfillment. If I were to die today, I'd go to my grave with my head held high, for I have been part of something great. I've had the privilege of being part of a family of champions.
E-TracX, so I met Edwin and Steph and Koflo and I think maybe Ruff. I'd been in Singapore maybe 1 week and I was in Orchard Road trying to buy a shirt and tie to go for job interviews, and they had a pop-up DJ, like a jam session outside Takeshimaya, and Koflo and Ruff were jamming, and then I just started jamming with them, and then I just spent the whole day there. I didn't buy the shirt, I didn't buy the tie, but I met those guys. So they were some of the first friends I made when I came to Singapore, and this was like 15 years ago, a long time ago. Yeah. 16 years ago.
Similar to me, because I went to Roxy Record, trying to look for scratch records and other those hip hop records. So I saw these two guys, which is SY and Ligi. You remember them, right? Yeah. Then then going down the escalator, so I tell them, and I say, hey, there's like a small DJ shop. Then I went in and I asked for the course available. Through that, managed to get the basic course, and till here I am.
I guess it was good. I was lucky to fall into that community because I basically came over here just with a bag of records and, you know, a few clothes and no contacts. You know, I knew a few people here, but no contacts. And back in Scotland, it was just me and my friends, like just jamming, like teaching ourselves. So I actually learned a lot through the E-TracX guys. Like I got better as a DJ. Just had fun jamming. I think maybe without that community, it would have been hard for me to maintain that passion. So that it's been good.
I wanted to just learn how to scratch. Then became friends with them. Now became a family. They teach me along the way. I managed to teach some new guys along the way too. So it's good. I remember one time we did the event at Sentosa. So I was playing those, there's no lo-fi, that point of time there's no lo-fi, there's just underground hip-hop. So I played mixing, playing. Then when I came down, then Tom came to me. Then he loves my set, he likes my set. Like, hey, someone loves those underground hip-hop stuff, those J Dealer stuff. You're like, hey, cool. And I tried to educate others about all those underground hip-hop through my art.
I mean, community, everyone looks out for each other. It's not closed-minded. There's a lot of different styles. People can have their own style, and it's actually encouraged in a way, and you can learn from other people. Everyone within the community's got something to bring to it in terms of the music or their style of DJing. Everyone helps out. It's good. It's no egos. You know, everyone just gets along, and
They kept my fire going actually. Got a point of time that I got bored. The trends changed from what I did to now what they listen to, what the kids now listen to. Came down when there's jamming session, every time it keeps the fire burning. Even though no one listens to, not all, not most listens to what I listen to, but I do. Yeah. But we get to share.
I mean, in the literal sense, E-TracX kind of gave me the opportunity to compete. I was never that competitive, you know. My roots are in hip hop, but I was never that like a battle DJ as such. Within that, I did have opportunities to compete with Koflo as part of a sort of DJ and beatbox and MC team that he put together. So that kind of put me in a place where I wasn't necessarily comfortable being and had to learn new skills and working with other people. And yeah, we actually did quite well. Just pushing forward with what you believe in and not being put off or whatever current trends are going or whatever pressures are on you. It's whether you're just like DJing at home or you're DJing in a club, it's the same kind of philosophy, just like try your best, you know.
Yeah, you rock the crowd. To me, that's a champion. You're already a champion. For battles, to put in a 6-minute routine is very stressful. Yeah, but when the new kids go up, then they have fun along the way. To me, they're already champions.
I mean, it all comes back to how it started for me, which is like the friendships and just being accepted. And so that's, for me, that'll always be the main thing that's come from this. So, yeah.
The friendship, the humble beginnings that we get, and that friendship. What he said. Be different, eh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And take time to develop your own style, your own sound, your own. Don't just jump onto the latest like sound or the latest. You know. Don't just think the 100 most popular tracks on whatever platform is the 100 best tracks. You know, and for me, it's the sign of a good DJ if you can close your eyes and you listen to what they're playing and you know who's DJing. So, and that takes time to develop, and you have to be interested in music. For me, like, music is my passion. DJing is a way to connect with the music. And when I hear stuff that makes me kind of feel something, then I want to try and find a way to share that with other people.
I managed to, how to say, like, slow, take it slow. Don't, there's too many genres, sub-genres nowadays. It's like slowly find your own style. Even if you're into like old school hip hop, then just follow, then elevate yourself.
Edwin and Steph, love you guys. Really appreciate what you're doing for the community, and I'm very lucky to have met you like so long ago. And yeah, rock on, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, Edwin and Steph, love y'all. Keep pushing. I'll always help. Even anything, just give a call. Yeah, small things, big things, I will come down and help. No worries.
I started DJing for a simple reason last time. I used to have a dance studio. It's called Studio Dance Meets. So I started DJing for 2 reasons. One is because if I want to do some internal events, I can cut costs. So I can DJ for my own stuff, you know. Times were bad. So yeah, as long as I can cut costs, I'll try to go for it. Second is, at that time in year 2010, 2011, there wasn't much DJs for dance events. So at that time, there was only like mainly DJ Smoke and DJ Side. So I was thinking like, if maybe I should try. That's what I'm thinking of. Maybe if I come up, maybe there's a competition, we can push up the overall level of DJs for dance events. Yeah, so that's how I pick it up.
That one thing I realized that I lacked was what Edwin taught me from day one. Learn to scratch, learn to do chop mixing, learn to do this and that. Don't always depend on the technology, which I didn't listen to him back then. I just wanted to do my own thing. I want to learn this and that. Okay, I just want to do this. I ignore the other part. So from then, after that, I realized that, oh shit, I need to brush this up, man. So then I bought a turntable and all, and I started practicing. I came back here and learned all over again. Learned to scratch, baby scratch and chop mixing and all over again.
This story began in 2015 when I started taking lessons from Koflo, one of the instructors here. And soon after that, E-TracX actually started calling me down for their monthly jams they had. So they were like these open jam sessions where everybody would just chill, hang around and just jam and share our skills with each other. I was so excited to actually meet these like-minded people that I didn't even know existed before. And these jams also enabled me to connect with a lot of older DJs, people who I actually look up to a lot, and actually have a first-hand experience in jam and learn from them, which was a very essential building block in my development as a DJ.
I guess individually, everyone at E-TracX has something going in their lives, but it's when we come together and share all these experiences together that helps us, probably have a different perspective of things when we meet a crossroad, something like that. And then they're always there to guide you and lead you and point you in the right direction so that you can actually do something about it instead of just sitting down and sulk and not do anything about it. So I guess, like I mentioned before, the people at E-TracX are very genuine and they're just very willing to share, and I just really love like the spirit that they have over here. And it's not something that you can just do overnight. It's what they started out with in the first place, and it has always been like that. So that's why I really feel that the reason why we are a family of champions is because of the people in E-TracX, that makes the place E-TracX.
I think that competitive spirit that they have developed helps a lot, and it's one of their selling points that I would say. So when you talk about branding and marketing and blah blah, like E-TracX is like the place to just develop that competitive spirit. I feel, because they've got champions coming out of here. They've got people that are always willing to mentor. And even for me, even if I'm not a champion, I always feel like I have the ability to come back and like mentor and give at least some advice to people who want to have a different perspective, or at least from what I've experienced in a different country and coming back and stuff like that. So yeah, E-TracX.
It was basically like where I started, like when you finish knowing like the basics of DJing, then after that I wanted to like explore more. Then like you go YouTube, then you see people like Perk got the video all on E-TracX. Then got the scratching all like fucking cool. Then I go see E-TracX. That was like that time in army . Then in army got a bit more money, so go E-TracX to learn first. Then it's through E-TracX where I discover other things of DJing. Also become a place where like E-TracX became like a home for people to go in. Like you don't have to be like fucking outstanding, right? Then they accept you for who you are. They just accept you. Like for me, I a bit like retarded kind. I go in, I also like accepted. Then, hey, shut up. So like I go. It's how to say, they are welcoming of you regardless of like.
How stupid you are.
No. I was thinking of something, but then they come to my mind language, race, religion. No. It's like they accept you for regardless of like your social status, like who you are and everything lah. Like you don't have to be like a big name or what. You can be an idiot like me, or like like normal people. You go in just with that passion to learn like the craft and everything. Then like E-TracX will like accept you for who you are lor.
Well, I think all of us have came to a point whereby we sort of always rely on E-TracX to have our backs, and I think that's something that all of us definitely appreciate. That's something that not everybody gets, like to be able to learn stuff and know what you're doing and like learn music, and so, but to be able to actually sort of like cultivate the habit of, or the attitude of like wanting to contribute and educate and teach. I think that's something that it's something to be nurtured, and I think E-TracX have done that. Yeah.
So I remember coming down to E-TracX one day and I see a lot of the other students hanging around, just chilling and just talking nonsense. You know, then they can talk about his butt, how big. Today he never do his hair properly. Why like this? Why you never 争气一点? I don't know lah. It's just all of kind of funny things lah. So it made me realize that the people here are real. You know, there are no like, nobody's putting on the front. Everybody's just being real with each other.
For me, right, a champion basically, you are respected by the people in your own way. So everybody have their own differences. They have their own life journey that makes them different. But then, from the art that you crafted out in your own way, and you get respected by people, that what you are doing. Because there are a lot of times, right, when you start to do something, people will question you, why you do it like this? Why you do it like that? This is not how people are doing it. But if you actually, like what they say, that you persevere, that you keep doing it until it gets so good that get respected by people, you are a champion. That's my own definition. Yeah. I think a family of champions, right, there's two ways of looking at it. One, right, is that E-TracX actually created a lot of champions. So it's like a group of champions. But then what's the word before the champion? It's the word family. So to me, right, it's like what Lester mentioned, right? It's like people there are very genuine. They will support each other. If you have problems, right, they'll help you. They'll practice with you to help you to answer your questions or how to do this scratch better, you know, all this. You can always approach them, give you questions. To establish the word family, right, it's like whenever E-TracX hosts a jam, right, who are the people who came down? The people who have been with E-TracX for so many years, right, they still come down for a recent jam. If it's not a family, right, then what it is? You know, so to me, right, that's the most important part. Individually, we can be champions, but then, right, we have the family first. Yeah, so that's what a family of champions is.
Chinese New Year gathering.
Yeah, no hay.
No hay, come down.
And pick up the floor. Yeah, she eat. Sorry, Edwin.
Family oriented that way. Yeah. So to me, like being a family, it's just, you know, it's my definition of it is just sitting down and then having food together. That is very basic for me. So in the dance scene wise, like after events or after we practice, we always go head out for supper or dinner, you know, and then that's where we talk about life lah, like what Bolo said, and just anything that's going on, you know, just catching up. That could happen like maybe like 3 or 5 times a week, depends. When I was younger. Yeah, so when I come to E-TracX that time, it's also similar because like after scratch jams or we have workshops, you know, we always just hang out after, just catch up with one another. And I always look forward to just having like a meal with everybody, you know, during like dinner time. To me, that's what makes E-TracX meaningful to me, that I can find this similarity in all the things that revolves around my life. Yeah. A champion is someone who stands out, you know, someone who stands out above others and the rest, like put in the time and the perseverance to do the things you want, but it's also having the support of the masses, you know, or the people around you. You know, like I don't believe like being a champion means like you have to do it yourself. You know, there's always people behind you pushing for you and supporting you in ways to shape you into becoming a champion. You know, so I found that point very strongly when I found E-TracX lah. You know, that people around you are very supportive and they genuinely want to help you, like Steph and Edwin, you know, and Sherman, you know. I mean, if you ask them, naturally they're more than willing to just sit down with you and take out their time and just share with you what you don't know or you want to find out, you know. And I think that is my interpretation of that lah.
Okay, because you've learned so much, right? So, I mean, I've learned so much, so I just wanted to give back, right? So, I mean, can we just give back to like not any other people, like probably to help those like underprivileged kids, so that to help them to start up their passion for DJ, and yeah, something like that.
There's always this aspect whereby you need to be involved within a community, because you need to be able to sort of give back whatever you have taken, right? And I think that's something that I enjoy a lot. Being able to teach people, being able to advise and mentor people, irregardless whether like they are doing extremely big stuff or they're just doing like a small routine or anything like that. Like, I think it doesn't matter, like the skill or whatever they're doing. Yeah.
Perseverance is key, lah. And there are times when you go through tough times, but it's always the people who are there to support you, and just like how they have supported us in our journey to becoming better DJs and to be a family of champions, I feel that when such scenario arises, we would still want to do that for them as well, because of what they have done for us. So tough times may happen, but tough people last. And I just want to tell them that they have our support as well, lah. Whenever they need us, we will be there, just like how they were for us. Yeah.
I feel is to be able to give first. For me personally, because why? I've not always been the best person. Last time I quite messed up one when I younger, quite selfish one, take care of myself, not much friends. Recess sit by myself one, that kind. No. But really, when I came to E-TracX, before I even had the opportunity to give something back to E-TracX, E-TracX has given me so much, and all I can say that is, if I do find the opportunity for someone else, I would want to give back to someone else, and yeah, that's what I really learned from them.
In the beginning, when I just started out, and after I started winning some competitions, sometimes I did let the kind of pride and ego get to my head, and E-TracX never failed to keep me grounded and to show me, in the end, what this whole thing, all the stuff I'm doing stands for the community and the music, not really for myself. Even during the moments where I might not have been too reasonable, or my pride took over, they have never been angry at me, they've never been disappointed in me, but they just try to push me the right way. And in the end, over time, I started to realize the right attitude to adopt when practicing this art.
It's like this feeling when like you can always come here and just relax or like de-stress and like just get together and just jam and just talk to people and stuff like that. They're always available, a phone call. They will go the extra mile for you, and it's something that when I was overseas I appreciated it even more. I already did when I was here, but it was more apparent when I went overseas, and I think that what people have here is something that they shouldn't take for granted, and that they should appreciate it and make full use of it, because it helps them to grow. It helped me to grow a lot.
I think Edwin and Steph has played a very big role in helping me to be the person I am today. They are like a big brother and big sister, so like sometimes I do stupid things, they will nag and nag and nag. Sometimes I'm tired of hearing, but still listen, because what they say really makes a lot of sense. They've been there, done that.
Actually, E-TracX got help both ways lah. Like as in like my 人格 also, like my own personality. Like sometimes I make mistakes in life. Like some of the mentalities I have like a bit wrong lah. Then like Sherman will like come in and slap me in the face. Hey, wake up your idea. Like not literally lah, but he will tell me cannot do or cannot say, or like sometimes like Sherman will tell me like, hey, you don't touch after this. I scared later you cry, no? No lah, like, sometimes, I now look at Sherman as like my sort of like older brother. Like, he will guide me through like ways in life. Like, he tell me, hey, these kind of things like cannot do, or this kind of thing like cannot say, cause it will affect you how, or this kind of mentality cannot have, cause it will affect you in this kind of manner, that kind of stuff. So that is like the human aspect, like how E-TracX has guided me lah, like to be a better person itself.
It was just any other day, any other night, you know. So I got a phone call from my mom. So I pick up my phone. I can hear my mom crying out loud, you know, and literally crying, say, 什么啊，快点回来啊 ，Daddy 不懂发生什么事啊。I was like in disbelief, like me and my brother, my mom, we were waiting at the waiting room. I was like, I still cannot process everything. I was just like thinking that he's gonna be okay lah. The doctor came in already. I see from the face, I'm like, okay, shit, this is happening. I miss him lah. I remember Steph just checking in on me every day. Steph and Edwin just asking him if I'm okay. If I'm okay, do I need any help? But I had E-TracX and I had friends and all that would call me up and like, oh hey, wanna do this, wanna do that. Oh, there's a jam. Hey, come down, blah blah blah. Oh, am I free on this day? Blah blah blah. We have a workshop, something like that. Would you be interested? Why not? Something to share, you know, something to keep me busy. At least I'm glad to say that my dad knows that me going into this line, this career. But I remember there was once my mom told me about this. He was quite proud of me when he told my uncle and auntie and even some of his friends, said that his son, me, I'm teaching at the DJ school to students and all, and I'm spinning at this place. I play what kind of music and all, and how far I've come, you know, since I started from day one.
Okay, why did I start DJing? I think as a kid, I always wanted to play piano, but I never really got the chance to because I come from like a really small HDB with like 7 people living in it. There's no way my parents could fit a piano in it, and I'm living with my grandparents as well. I remember as a kid briefly, like I will always go to my cousin's house and I'll always see him play piano. And I'm always kind of like intrigued with the sound, how a piano could be, you know, played and stuff like that. And yeah, and I always wanted to play music. And during secondary school, like after school, I always go to hang out with my schoolmates, and then they'll be jamming. Honestly, I don't know how to play any instruments. So all I do is like I just lend my vocal and just shout on the mic. Basically, you know, we love punk rock music, we love our like rock music and stuff. So shouting is part of it. And then I guess, you know, once I got into skateboarding, hip hop just kind of kicked me in, you know, like, and I went to my friend's house and I saw him scratching on the turntables, and I'm like, hey, this is what I could do, you know, and this is what I want to do. And the good thing about the turntables is that I could be a pianist, I could be a drummer, I could be a saxophonist, I could be any musical instruments I want. So that's why I hold the turntables very dearly to me, because I'm able to create and be myself through the turntables. I think the biggest struggle that we face as a musician is to prove to your parents that you're able to make a living out of it. I think that's the first thing that you have to prove is to your relative and your parents, because, I mean, being a musician is one thing, and being a turntablist is like so unconventional, and that everyone kind of like, are you sure you could do this for a living? Are you sure you're able to pay your bills and stuff like that? And I think that's what is important, you know, to prove to your parents. And the second thing that you need to is to prove to the society, because I think most people look at a DJ as like a jukebox, you know, like you're in the club just playing music for people, like people dance, but they never understood how you could create that and change that into a career. So yeah. And I reverse engineer my music, and I learned how to play it live again. So pretty much, you know, like
being a DJ is only a small percentage of what you can do, but if you're a musician and you're a producer, you could produce more music. Your leverage is a lot more higher because the amount of creativity that is put into it is a lot more than just being a DJ playing in a club. And I think the perception comes from festival DJs who just DJ, but essentially they're actually a producer. So I think that's what really sets the difference between me and the producers is that I could actually play the turntable really well and I can actually produce the music as well. I think champion, it's not just about winning competition. It's about championing your own life, championing other people's life as well. I think what's important is that you continue to develop and help other people champion their life. And I think, you know, if you win a competition and you think that's it, I honestly don't think so, because like just winning a competition, you're not gonna inspire enough people if you're not gonna push forward and champion yourself. You know, that's more important, which is to inspire everyone around you. I think what E-TracX could give to the community is that first and foremost, we have been the longest running DJ school in Singapore, and I guess we have taught at least a good 60% of the DJs in Singapore for sure. And also, not only just 60%, we have taught a lot of the top DJs in Singapore. And I think that's what is important, you know, to keep shaping the society's perception of what DJing is. And I think doing it by myself, I would never be able to achieve that. But being in a family like them, we are able to achieve that and make more noise and tell people that we could do it, you know. I think the biggest perception that I always taught my students was that do not be content when you are just a DJ and play in a club and everyone thinks that you're great, but you have to ask yourself, are you really that great? You know, if you play popular music all the time, I think if I ask my grandmother and I teach her how to link these 10 records together, she would just be as great as you. But the question is, are you really that great? And if you really want to be a good DJ, it's more than just DJing, you know. You are being a musician overall. You know, if you can't be a musician, being a great DJ, it's nothing really. It's just a small little percentage of what it is. And I think that's what is important. You know, do not be shadowed by everyone who tells you like, oh, you play great music, blah, blah, but that's because you are in a commercial club. But, you know, really go try something different and be yourself. I think that's what it's important to me. I think it's important to keep pushing yourself. You know, I have faced a lot of adversity ever since I started, but, you know, here I am, you know, talking to you guys and teaching you guys and sharing knowledge. A lot of time I don't just teach you guys, you know, just skills on the turntable or you know, like my experience, but I teach you about life, you know. I think that's what is important about E-TracX, is that, you know, whatever we experience through life, we teach you as well, you know, not just through DJing, but through friendship, through family, you know. So I think that's why it's important, and keep doing what you do and keep believing in what you believe you could do. Peace.
The biggest gift that E-TracX has given me is a gift of community, a gift of family, a group of people who I can resonate with, who I can lean on in times of trouble, and who will support me through thick and thin.
For me, I really want to thank E-TracX for sharing so much with me, and you know, like always inviting me to their jams, hangouts, interviews like this, you know. So I feel very grateful that even though I have a very short journey with them, but they have been inviting me for all their stuff. So to me, that it really touched me, that I really feel like I'm part of them. So that's why I really want to thank like Edwin, Steph, E-TracX, all the people I met in E-TracX. Like, you know, like even though we met the first time, right, you can just spark out a conversation. It seems like we know each other for a long time, because we have a common hobby or passion in terms of DJ, so we can spark out conversation so easily. But sometimes what we talk is not regards to DJ. So, I mean, that's life lah, you know, like that's how we know more people as well. So for that part, I really feel very grateful to E-TracX. Yeah.
I'm very thankful, right, for E-TracX to give me the courage to go and join DJ battles. Really, that one was fucking important. Like, I cannot say enough lah, because I'm a person that the ball a bit small one. So like, no, as in like, I don't, like when I remember like this year's Future DJ Battle, I was still thinking, should I join? What if I don't make the cut into the finals, like what if I don't win? Or what if I don't get to the finals and don't win? Then, you know, it was then that I remember Edwin and Koflo, both of them were like, you know what, do it. Because you will never know what will happen. And if you don't do it, you will never learn also. You will never learn what are your flaws in your routines and your flaws as a DJ stuff. Like even though I didn't even get to the finals, but I learned a lot. Like what are my key mistakes, like my tendencies to do stuff. And then, anyway. So I think that is like something that I'm very grateful for. It's like giving me the support and courage to tell me, you know what, just do it. Or like Nike, the logo.
Thank you, E-TracX, for having faith in me. Yeah, really. Because I really I'm...
It's okay. Your
Thank
past
you for,
is okay. Your past is okay. It's okay. Yeah, we understand.
We accept you for who you are. Your past is safe with us.
Yeah, okay, can No, I got to publish already. Yeah, safe. But really, because like I said, I'm really new into this, and I remember some sessions where I would just mess up during class or whatsoever, or I'm really the least experienced in the whole bunch. But thank you for taking me in, and thank you for giving me the opportunities to grow and to be a better DJ and to be a better person.
I imagine a world where everyone comes together to support and inspire each other to be the best that they can be.
A world of fun, laughter, and wonderful friendships. A world of creativity, inspiration, and unrelenting courage.
A world of freedom, peace, and one love.
Some have looked at me funny when I tell them this.
Some doubt that such a world is even possible to create.
Well, perhaps I'm crazy or naive, but I believe it is possible.
The E-TracX family has given me faith, and I know in my heart that although I may not see it in my lifetime,
it will eventually come to pass if we continue working towards making it a reality.
Whatever lies in our future, we will meet it with strength and courage.
For we know that nothing can stop us from realizing our dream of changing the world for the better.
We are E-TracX.
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 We
We
are family champions.